What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for June 7th, 2025. I'm your host, Joe Montgomery. Welcome to a Saturday edition of the podcast. One of our last Saturday shows as we're going Monday through Friday. The last Saturday show will be next week. This will allow me some time to repurpose some things and kind of expand. I've been telling you I'm working on a Sunday morning Eagles pregame show. I already have a co-host for that, so looking to have some fun with that. But as of next Saturday will be our last weekend shows for the podcast as we go into summer and start looking ahead and trying to expand some things. But you can still catch me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok, on Instagram at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont. Continue to spread the word. If you're looking for highlights, video clips, photos, pictures from whatever we're talking about, all of that is available on my social media, including my Facebook and LinkedIn. So go hit me up there. And again, the podcast will still be Monday through Friday. There will be some different segments during the week, kind of expanding that. Still going to do our Tuesday positivity and motivation. Still going to have Fridays with AI, but going to expand and do some different things. Obviously, we'll have a weekend recap on Monday, so that way you're still staying in line with everything that happened in Philly sports history. And speaking of Fridays with AI, yesterday we spent Fridays with AI talking about AI and what would have been had the Sixers gave him a superstar or paired him with a superstar. In this scenario, they paired him with Tracy McGrady, who apparently there was, I don't remember this, but it was almost pretty much a done deal. There was a deal in place, I guess I should say, to send Tracy McGrady from Toronto to the Sixers in exchange for some draft picks and Larry Hughes, but Toronto backed out at the last second. But we took a trip down, so go check that out. That's on my social media as well as the YouTube channel if you missed that yesterday. Probably one of the most realistic Fridays with AIs that we've had so far. But go check it out. T-Mac and AI together on the same team, what could have been as we spend Fridays with AI. If you're going down to the shore, let Beach Caddy take the stress out of it. Nobody likes moving their stuff from the car to the house, and then even worse, moving it from the house to your car. Beach Caddy with their bellhop service will take care of you. If you're in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, or Wildwood, they will make sure your vacation gets off to a stress-free start. And then when it's time to go to the beach, they got the best beach carts in at the Jersey Shore. Nice big inflatable wheels, easily move through the sand. No stress, no struggling, no pulling and getting a workout in, taking your stuff to the beach. Let Beach Caddy handle it. Use the promo code Jimbo to take 10% off your bellhop as well as your beach cart rental service if you're in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood, because vacation should be fun, not stressful. Beach Caddy takes the stress out of your vacation. Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood. Promo code Jimbo for 10% off your bellhop and beach cart rental. All right, the Phillies certainly could have used some Beach Caddy out in Pittsburgh last night. I think it might be time to almost hit the panic button. Have you ever seen the meme where the guy is like shaking, getting ready to push the button? I feel like that's where we are with this Phillies team. I don't think it's quite time to panic yet, but our calls for concern should be on high alert right now. Walk-off loss to the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates, and they couldn't do anything right yesterday. No Bryce Harper. His wrist hurt, which came as kind of a surprise. Apparently, it was the training staff that told him to sit out. The bullpen wasn't. I guess they were okay for a bullpen game, but as an offense, you can only muster 4 runs and 7 hits against the Pirates. Bailey Falter. I don't know. Things just, it's not good. I mean, a little bit of bad luck played in there. That bunt was ridiculous in the 9th inning. They played it the right way. I mean, I saw some people on social media, why didn't you pick it up and try to throw it? Because 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, that ball rolls foul. It was just the perfect, it hit a little piece of chalk or a stone or something and rolled back in. But either way, Jordan Romano has not been good. The offense has not been good. Jesus Luzardo has not been good. Christopher Sanchez hasn't really been that good. The offense is ridiculous, and we're roughly about a year to the day when things started to turn for the Phillies last year after that London series with the Mets. They just have been not good since then. They're playing very I don't even want to say business like. I was saying beginning of the season they were playing very business like. I wouldn't even give it business like. It's not a fun team to watch. I don't know. They're just kind of a blot. They need like an infusion of energy, and whether that means trading, bringing up somebody from the Lehigh Valley, or what, it's just not. They're not enjoyable right now, and it doesn't look like they're enjoying themselves. So I don't know if they need a speech, if they need a team meeting. But like, it's the time for being nice is not there. You need to have a come to Jesus moment, so to speak. And this season could, over the next 3 weeks, really, really get away from the Phillies. So hopefully they can come back and take these next two. Ranger Suarez on the mound today. Like I said, I just don't think it's time to panic, but I'm hovering over that panic button. It's close. Let's hope they bounce back today with Ranger Suarez. But let me know your thoughts on the Phils on the Back to the Future voice and text line, 267-495-8531, or hit me up on the Discord channel. The invitation is in the description. But, man, not good. Not good in Phillies land right now. Go to lotwin.com. Get your 3D custom hype chains. Things are amazing. Good for fantasy football, youth sports, bachelor parties. Just having some fun around the house, annoy your wife, at the office, annoy your coworkers, whatever you got to do. These things are great. Custom made, very meticulously designed. So go to their website, look and see what they can do for you. They're very easy to work with. So go to lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD for 10% off for your order, and get your custom hype chain and get hype. Hopefully, maybe the Phillies need. Remember when they used to wear the hats and different things after a home run? They need to bring them back. They need to give Lotwin a call and get a home run hype chain or a double hype chain or something. Anything to bring some joy. They just don't look like they're having fun. Anyway, lotwin.com, promo code TCCPOD for 10% off your custom hype chain. All right, yesterday's trivia answer. I asked you, everybody knows that it was Theo Ratliff for Dikembe Mutombo essentially was the trade the Sixers made in 2001. But who were the other four involved in that trade? The Sixers got Rashawn McLeod, and they sent Tony Kukoc, Pepe Sanchez, and Nazr Muhammad to the Atlanta Hawks. So my man Pepe was involved in the trade and helped have a hand in the Sixers making that run to the NBA Finals. Union in action today in a friendly against Atlas from Mexico. Always fun to play these games and play these teams. Essentially a glorified scrimmage, but should be some fun for the Union as I don't know if this would count toward their no or unbeaten streak, but still look for them to get some of the young guys in there to play and have some fun today against Atlas FC. And then it was announced that Quinn Sullivan and Nathan Harrell are named to the U.S. Gold Cup team, which kicks off on June 15th. So good experience in kind of international play, I guess you could call it, for these guys. But that opens up June 15th. But tonight, the Union play Atlas in a friendly. All right, do have some Eagles news, and I think thought this story was pretty cool. In October, Delaware State and Norfolk State will play at the Link. That's Deshaun Jackson's the head coach at Delaware State, Michael Vick at Norfolk State. And I think it's a pretty cool experience to have two former Eagles come back with their teams they're coaching, play at the Link on a Thursday night. Not a lot on the college football schedule that night, so it should be a lot of big-time exposure for both of these guys. pretty cool for Delaware State. Remember their story last year. They got their plane or something got delayed when they were trying to go out and play Hawaii. But it's a good, like I said, I think this is good for not only the MEAC, but also HBCUs. Also great for Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick to get that exposure when it comes to recruiting. Definitely rooting for both of those guys. Loved both of them when they played for the Eagles. But Delaware State and Norfolk State, coached by Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick, will be playing at the Link on a Thursday night. They should get a decent crowd, I would think, too. A lot of people come just to see Deshaun and Michael, but good, like I said, good exposure for the MEAC, good exposure for HBCUs in general. Wish them both good luck as that game kicks off on, I think it's October 30th is the Thursday that it's on, down at the Link. And like again, you'll have a couple random, maybe an AAC game or maybe even a MAC game, but should be one of the big primetime games for ESPN. So kudos and good job for Delaware State for getting this scheduled and happening at the Link. And kudos to the Eagles for kind of working with them and allowing them to get this game played in the big time. Be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Great things happening on their Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com to see how you can get involved, become a member. They're always looking to expand. Again, I say it all the time. These guys are a great group of guys. Lots of fun chatting with them. I'm hoping with the NFL or the Eagles pregame show that I'm doing to kind of tap into some of the guys on the network. So go to clashingconferences.com, see what they have to offer, how you can get involved. If you're in need of media services, they can help you out there. New podcasts drop on Thursday and Friday, but go to theclashingconferences.com to see what they have to offer. And Philly Goat, just in time for Father's Day. I wish I seen this shirt before I placed my order, but I don't know if this is a new shirt or I missed this, and this is why you need to scroll through their website because there's always things that you may have missed. But in the same style as the Cruck Around Find Out, they have, in true Philly fashion, if you don't want to get booed, don't suck. Shirt is amazing. You can get it in the Phillies colors and express your displeasure with this team. But they got all kinds of good stuff for Dad for Father's Day. So go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. Told you yesterday about the Garbage Pail Kids inspired line, the Philly Fanatic Rocks glasses. You name it, they got it. Go to Philly Goat. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. And don't forget about Dad. And if you don't want to get booed, don't suck. All right, June 6th. We're going to do a little bit of a Phillies and Flyers theme today. And we'll start with the Flyers, who had mixed results on this day. In 1995, they avoided going down 3-0 to the Devils in the Eastern Conference Final, going up to New Jersey and winning 3-2 in overtime. Kevin Dineen and Rob Brindamore scored. Brindamore tied it. And then in overtime, Eric Lindros hit the game winner. Flyers would win the next game up in New Jersey as well before dropping the next two, but the future was bright on this day for the Flyers as they avoided going down 3-0, beating the Devils and Martin Brodeur 3-2 in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. And then 2 years later, the dream was over. Hopes were high after this game in 1995 for the Flyers, but 2 years later, it kind of came crashing down as the dream of a Stanley Cup was dashed by the Detroit Red Wings. They kind of went out in a whimper, losing Game 4 out in Detroit 2-1. Eric Lindros scored the only goal for the Flyers in the final minute. I believe actually under 30 seconds. I think there was like 14 seconds left when Lindros scored this goal. It was his only goal of the series to go with 2 assists. The Detroit Red Wings and Scotty Bowman really figured out how to slow down and neutralize the Flyers in that series. But it was all over on this day. Flyers getting swept out of the Stanley Cup Finals 2-1 on this day in Detroit, ending whatever dream and really ending the high point of the Eric Lindros era for the Flyers on this day in 1997. And then going to the Phillies. On this day in 1983, they lost to the Cardinals 2-1 at the Vet. They were held to 2 hits by Cardinals pitcher Bob Forsch. one of them being a Mike Schmidt home run. But Steve Carlton was equally as good, pitching a complete game, taking the loss, striking out 6. But in the process of striking out 6, he took over the all-time lead for strikeouts in a career, passing Nolan Ryan. The rest of that season and most of 1984, the two of them would go back and forth battling. Nolan Ryan would take the lead, then Steve Carlton would take the lead, and then September of 84, Nolan Ryan took the lead for good, and he still is atop that list today. But on this day, in 1983, Steve Carlton moved past Nolan Ryan for the all-time lead in career strikeouts. Nolan Ryan still is the top of the list. Steve Carlton is 4th. And then 4 years later, in 1987, another solid pitching performance. Mike Jackson pitched 8 scoreless innings, no hitting the Expos through the first 8 innings, and then Tim Raines led off the 9th with a double, eventually scored, but Mike Jackson was just outstanding that day. Struck out 6, walked 4. Steve Bedrosian came in and got the 1-out save for the Phillies as they won it 3-1. Milt Thompson homered in this game. He scored 2 runs and went 3 for 4 with a stolen base. But it was all about Mike Jackson, who no-hit the Expos for 8 innings before Tim Raines led off the 9th with a double. They would hold on to win 3-1. Jackson going 8 2/3, giving up that 1 hit and the 1 run. And then Bedrock, Steve Bedrosian, comes in and saves it. All right, today's trivia question. The Phillies released Steve Carlton in 1986, and before coming to the Phillies, he played for the Cardinals. He retired in 1988, but from 1986 to 1988, he played for 4 different teams. What 4 teams were they? What 4 teams did Steve Carlton finish out his career with? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line, the Discord channel, any of my social media, but give me the 4 teams that Steve Carlton finished out his career with. All right, and finally today, our greatest individual season in Philly sports history. We're going back to the Phillies today, but first a recap from yesterday's matchup. Carson Wentz, the number 5 seed, held on. This was way closer than what I thought, with 67% of the vote over 2022 A.J. Brown. So Carson Wentz, the 5 seed, moves on, setting up an interesting matchup between the 4 seed, 2010 Michael Vick in the second round. So stay tuned for that one. But today it's Phillies region. And then we have a 7-10 matchup. The number 7 seed, Jim Bunning's 1964 season. He went 19-8 with a 2.63 ERA, 13 complete games, 5 shutouts in 284 1/3 innings, 219 strikeouts. He was an all-star. He pitched a perfect game on Father's Day. But we know he was overused down the stretch as Gene Mock just kept using him. And it just... The collapse, the curse of Chico Ruiz happened. But Jim Bunning himself had an all-star season going 19-8 with a 2.63 ERA, 219 strikeouts, and that perfect game on Father's Day. He is taking on the number 10 seed, Ryan Howard's 2008 season. And what many people don't realize about the 2008 Ryan Howard is he played in every game that year. And did he put up the ridiculous numbers he did the year he won the MVP, or even the 2007? No, but in 162 games, he hit 48 homers, 146 RBI, both which led the league. He only hit 251, and I think that's why people were down on him. But he did place second in the MVP. A lot of people think that was in part because technically everybody says that Pujols should have won it in 2006. Because his team went further. And so, I don't know. There's a whole backstory to that. But he finished second in the MVP. Was not an all-star that year. Despite hitting 48 homers, 146 RBI, did not make the all-star team, even though he placed second in the MVP voting. But this season was probably more known for Ryan Howard's postseason performance. In all 3 series, he hit 269 with 3 homers, 6 RBI. However, in the World Series, when the lights were shining the brightest, Ryan Howard hit 286. All 3 of those home runs came in the World Series and knocked in 9 RBI. I'm sorry. He had 6 RBI in the World Series, 9 in the postseason. But we know Phillies won the World Series championship. So Ryan Howard, 48 regular season home runs, 146 RBI, and then a huge World Series for the Phillies. So who do you got? Whose season was better? Jim Bunning's 1964 season, in which he pitched a perfect game on Father's Day, or Ryan Howard's 2008 season, 46 homers, 146 RBI, World Series champion? Could have made a strong case for him to be the MVP of the World Series if Cole Hamels just didn't pitch lights out. So who do you got? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line, any of my social media. Come to the Discord channel. Let's have some fun on what appears to be a steamy, sometimes rainy Saturday. Let's have some good sports talk. On this day in 1987, Mike Jackson almost no-hit the Expos. In 1983, Steve Carlton passed Nolan Ryan for the all-time strikeout league. The two would battle back and forth over the next season and a half before Nolan Ryan finally overtook him. Be sure to let me know for the trivia question too. What were the 4 teams that Steve Carlton finished his career with after being released by the Phillies? And a mixed bag for the Flyers on this day, getting swept out of the Stanley Cup in 1997, but coming back and avoiding a 3-0 deficit in 1995 in the Eastern Conference Final when Big E scored in overtime. We'll have more on the Phils. Is it time to panic? Maybe I'm underselling this. Maybe it is time to panic. I don't quite think it's there yet, but like I said, the beads of sweat are dripping, and I'm hovering over that button. But let me know. We'll also update you on the Union's friendly against Atlas. But go out and enjoy your Saturday today. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for June 7th, 2025. My name's Jim Montgomery, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.